Why should you choose Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City? Why wouldn't you choose them? At Nolf, their sales are speedy and include upfront and straightforward pricing. If it's service and parts you're after, they have skilled technicians who are factory trained while offering knowledgeable parts experts. Maybe you need Nolf's full service body shop offering top quality collision repair to all makes and models of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Or do you want to cruise the highway in a clean, shiny vehicle thanks to Nolf's detailing service? No matter your needs, Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City is there for you. Find out more at NolfChryslerDodge.com. Welcome to another edition of Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Nolf Bites right here in Fairmont City. I'm Chris Rossetti. He's Andy Byers. And to my left, we have the one, the only, the man with a plan. He once even got thrown out of the Loomis in Clarion. Ronnie, the main man. Guys!
Thank you. Hold your applause.
You see, you wrestled at one point in time.
I did.
You wrestled at one point. No, it was real wrestling. It wasn't,
No studio.
It was no studio. But what would your studio wrestling nickname have been?
I don't know. Give me a little bit of time.
How about the exterminator?
That's true. I was an exterminator at one time. I'll tell you what, before the end of it, I'll think of one.
You'll think of a good one?
My preferred studio name.
Your preferred studio name?
Yeah.
I would not have had one. I would not have been good enough to have one. What about you, Andy? Would you have been good enough to have a preferred studio name?
Don't know. I never attempted it.
Rossetti, you could be the brain.
Daddy's in Clarion named a soup after me last week.
Maybe yours would just be Daddy.
Wait. Is it because you bought all of the soup? They said whoever buys all the soup gets to name it?
Not quite, but it was basically it was pasta fagioli, which is an Italian like soup with noodles and beans and Dana Treese, the owner of Daddy's, he put some hot sausage in it. But it's one of my favorite soups. Being an Italian, I know nobody guessed Rossetti Italian, right? Like nobody put the two together there. But it was one of my favorite soups. And so about 3 weeks ago, we were in Northwest Savings Bank. I was making a deposit for the business. Dana was making a deposit for Daddy's. And he goes, we're talking. He goes, hey, be on the lookout for the pasta fagioli. I'm like, okay. He knows I like it. I'm like, that's cool. He's like, later this week. Well, that week went by, no pasta fagioli. Following week, no pasta fagioli. Like a month goes by, no pasta fagioli. So I saw last week a friend of his wanted him to do some Chicago beef, and by the way, the Chicago beef was unbelievable. Like one of the best I've ever had. It was really good. But I just jokingly on their Facebook post like, well, hey, where's my pasta fagioli? And then I'm like, just kidding. And like literally 2 days later, I look at the menu and there it is, Rossetti's pasta fagioli. Now he misspelled Rossetti. We'll give him a pass. I get it. Everybody thinks it only has one S. It has two, but we'll give him a pass. But it was Rossetti's pasta fagioli on it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or something like that. But yeah, I had a soup named after me. Pat Kale gets something every St. Patty's Day. There's like this dish, and I don't remember exactly. It's kind of like a Irish stew dish, and it was Pat's recipe, and Pat put it on there, and so Dana names it after Pat. It's Pat Kale's whatever, and it's really good. And so those are the kind of things that living in a small town are so great about, right? Like you're not going to Panera Bread, and look, I'm excited. There's a Panera Bread opening up in Clarion. Don't get me wrong. You don't go to Panera Bread and have like Ronnie's soup on it, right? But you could go to Joe's, and Ronnie's pasta might be on the Joe's here in New Bethlehem's menu one day.
Could be. There's a Rose and Joe special. They named them after themselves,
but
Do they
that
call you Ronnie?
No.
What do they call you?
Politely, when I worked there in high school, Joe would call me Rocco.
Rocco.
Right.
Where'd that come from?
I had no idea. Hey, Rocco, you can lean, you can clean. Go get something done. And I don't know that he's called me that since, but
Rocco still has that problem, doesn't he, Andy?
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's your wrestling name now.
Rocco.
Yeah.
It's got to be like Rocco. What's Geist? Geist? What?
German.
German.
Means ghost or spirit.
Ronnie, the Holy Ghost, guys.
So did you get the pasta or did you get the soup?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
name it after you can get it.
Oh, I walked in and I'm like, well, this is a real easy one. How do you not get the soup named after you?
Did his sales increase?
It probably decreased.
Bought it just to dump it out.
Do you think your competitors eat the soup?
No,
No.
probably get mad that my name's on the soup. But I don't have competitors. Nobody's my equal. Everybody's above me.
No one would want to be that low.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be that low. What are you guys talking about? Competitors. It was like that Rossetti, man. To reach his level, we'd have to dig.
Since we're talking about food, I don't know why this came into my mind, but the one game you guys did of ours, Coach Weiser combined, told me a good game, slapped me on the shoulder. And as he's walking by, I thought to myself, like, I bet that guy, he's like, look, the perfect grandpa. Like, I feel like he's the guy when you go to the diner, he always gets apple pie with his meal when it's all done. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. Like, it's the greatest way ever, but like, he just looks to me like he's like, we finish our meal with pie.
He likes his Italian hoagie at Pisano's in Brockway.
I've never eaten there. Is that the place you go to, Andy? Pisano's?
Yeah, I go there.
Yeah,
I like their Italian hoagies.
Yeah, Pisano's has great pizza in Brockway. They might have the best. We're all up there. I mean, they're in the top 5 pizzas in District 9, easily in the top 5. They're challenging for that top spot. We should do a food tour.
Well, I was just
We could take the Charger here. Is that a Charger? What is that? Challenger. Yeah. See, I don't know my cars. You guys are the car guys.
Let's go next Monday.
We can go to a food. We can do a food trip. We'll just skip from town to town, eat whatever's best in each town, and then vote on it at the end of the day.
Well, if they're a 5, who's your 5?
I said they're a top 5.
Right. Ooh, real quick.
Joe's here in New Bethlehem is way up there. They're there. Bettina's in Marionville, for sure. There used to be a place in Smethport that's no longer there. Unfortunately, it burnt down. It was really, really, really good.
It's tough to come up with 5. You get like 2 or 3, and then the rest are kind of all on par.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple places in DuBois that have really good pizza.
You ever have Mayport gas pizza?
I have not. I've heard this. Every time I come down, every year, like I swear last year you guys were talking about Mayport gas pizza and that it's really, really good. But no, there's a place in Punxsy and Rich Road. I just know it's like kind of just past the golf course there, and it's on the right hand side. I want to Lasca's. Yeah, they've got good. Yeah, they've got really good pizza there. I don't want to like offend anybody. Like I haven't had pizza in every town yet. So if you didn't hear me say your favorite pizza place, it's partly because I haven't been there.
We went to Carton City the other day and stopped. There's a place, M&M's in Reimersburg.
Oh yeah, M&M's is really good. That's another one that's way up there on the list. So yeah.
BPN in Rockport. Have you had BPN pizza?
I have not.
So no pressure, but if you're watching this and you have great pizza and you'd like us to judge it,
let us know, and we'll come. We'll try to. We'll see what we can do to come up and try some of your pizza and give it a shot. But yeah, I mean, it's like obviously, and some of it, I mean, people, well, of course he's going to say that. They do advertising with them, but, I love to eat at the Allegheny Grill. I love to eat at Station 101 in DuBois. I love to eat at Luigi's in DuBois.
You have to dress nice to go to that Station 101?
Nah, you could show up like you're I think people show up to that place in a lot of different dresses. I think it's like kind of going to the Allegheny Grill. You can kind of show up and however. They got really good food at Station 101. Rhonda Burton and her team over there, and again, thank you, Rhonda, for doing advertising with us. But it's a class place. The food's good. Speaking of, like, we talk about how they do local, like Daddy's named it last year. Not Evan Snowberger's the dad. Aiden Snowberger from DuBois Central Catholic threw a perfect game against Elk County Catholic, and he worked there. and she named a burger after him. Like, and it was like a specially made burger that like Aiden liked to get, like with like hot sauce, and it was called the Snow Burger. Right. You know, his last name Snow Burger, and called it the Snow Burger. But
it had white cheese.
I had it. You know, it was really good. I can't tell you now whether it had white cheese on it or not, but it was really good. But you know, again, those are the types of things I think you get in small towns that you don't get in big cities. You know, that kind of personalization sometimes is really cool. We kid about them naming the soup after me at Daddy's, but I mean, when you see that it's the people that you're neighbors with, that you're friends with, that are owning the restaurant, it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, people care about their friends, neighbors, cousins, brothers. You know, that's the perks of living where we live. Sure, you might have to drive an hour to go to a big city or whatever, but you know, it's like here at Nolf's, like we're so small in what we do. Like the personalization is what makes part of doing what we do feel good at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know, and people can come in to you guys and they trust Andy. They trust you, Ronnie. They know that if you're telling them something, you're not just giving them the line. They know that what you're telling them is going to be that if you say, hey, this is the best price we can give you, it truly is the best price you can give them. You know, they're not thinking that you're trying to pull one over, because what happens is if you pull one over and they find it out, then Nolf takes a hit, and you know, then Andy has to hear it from his wife and hear it from his father-in-law, and then that doesn't go well, and then you hear it from Andy because you've lied. So like that is
that's never happened.
That's the beauty of living in rural America, in small town America, is that personalization that you might not get when you live in a suburb of Pittsburgh that's nothing but chains. And look, I like chains. You like chains. I'm sure there's chain restaurants that you guys eat at all the time. You know, there's chain restaurants I eat at all the time. But there's something about that personalized hometown restaurant, that hometown pizza joint, whatever, that has a special allure to it.
Agree.
So, if I made you guys hungry yet?
Always. Look at us.
Well, yeah. We didn't have lunch too long ago, so we're probably good for another hour or
so. Guess we should talk a little football.
Yeah, we can hit something.
We talked special teams last week, and then, man, did special teams play a massive, massive role in Punxsutawney's comeback over Karn City on Friday night. It was 19-0 Gremlins at the half. Do you know that's twice now that a team has come back from 3 scores down at halftime to win in District 9 this year? Kane beat Ridgeway down, I think it was 18-0 or 21-0 at the half, and beat them 24-21. That just doesn't happen very often.
You know, outside of obviously Port's a very good team, but you know that kind of shows you competition. You know,
the parity,
right? I mean, it's there all week. You know, if you're not sharp, you know, up 3 scores, anyone can take it from you. I think that's a good thing for football.
I think it's a really good thing. But we're talking special teams, and I was telling Ronnie this a little bit yesterday on the phone, Andy, and I don't know if you saw how that game went, but it's 19-8 Karn City early fourth quarter probably, and they're punting from about their own 30. I don't have the exact yard line off the top of my head. Punting from their own 30, and Punxsutawney brings some pressure. They don't get to it, but it's one of those pressures that affects a high school kicker. We've all seen it happen. And the kick goes straight up in the air, and it bounces at like the 32, and then it bounces back towards the 28. And it was like the entire Karn City team just stopped playing. They just thought that the ball was like dead, or just weren't thinking about it. The punter's head went down. Again, understandable reaction, right? But the ball bounces right to the Punxsutawney kid at the 28-yard line. And he turns, and there's like nothing between him and the end zone. So he just picks the ball up and jogs into the end zone for a touchdown. And now all of a sudden it's a 19-14 game. Well, then Punxsutawney, with about 4.5 minutes to go, they get the ball back, still down 5.
they're facing a 4th and 15. So they're going to punt. So they're going to try to play defense, use their timeouts, whatever. Doesn't the punter get roughed? 15 yards. It's not an automatic first down in high school football, but it was just enough for a first down. Then the Chucks go on one of their patented drives with their running game and their offensive line. And they score with, like, I think 30, maybe not 30 seconds or something. Like, it was under 30 seconds, I think, to play. And they score the winning touchdown, all because of a couple of special teams mistakes. And we were talking about that just last week. And I was talking to Ben Donlin in Brockway, and Central Clarion was up, I think, 16-0 on Brockway, and Mason Burford returns a punt 55 yards for a touchdown. And we've been talking about, he had talked about how we were talking about that on our show. He's an assistant coach at Brockway. And then after the game, he looks at me, he goes, didn't we just talk about that? And it's so true. It's so true that part of the game can be so important. It can be so game changing for you. And I just thought it was interesting that we talked about it last week. And then right away this week, we get an example of a team using their special teams, or a team not playing as well as they could have on special teams, being a reason a team rallies and wins a game.
And Karn City's as good, as well a coach team as it comes.
That's 100%. You know, it's not like they don't go over that stuff there, anything. But again, in the heat of the moment, sometimes things just happen. Nobody's fault. It's not a coach's fault. It's not a player's fault. Things just happen. It's sports, and that's what happens in sports. Sports just happen sometimes. Sports isn't meant to make sense all the time, is it?
Not at all.
Coaches never understand a lot of things. So.
Speaking of coaches, did you hear what the guy from Tennessee did yesterday?
No.
Oh my gosh. Heard this morning. So I think it was like 16-6. I think they're playing the Colts. They're losing 16-6. And it'd be about a 57-yard field goal. Well, the Colts called timeout. I guess maybe to preserve clock, whatever. So now you have that whole timeout to decide what you're going to do. You're going to kick the field goal. You're going to go for it. And the timeout comes to an end, and they still haven't decided. So now the Titans call timeout. So you figure, okay, they know what they're going to figure out what they're going to do. They send their offense out. After sending the offense out, they change their minds, and they then try to send the kicking team out, and they take a delay of game.
After two
timeouts. I guess the Tennessee media was not kind. I heard them say, and I don't know because I didn't actually hear the question, but I guess one of them asked, do you even know what you're doing? And that's like a fair question to an NFL coach, right? Like, after two timeouts, you send your offense out, and then midway through the play clock, you decide that's not what you want to do.
Well, there has to be something that we didn't see, or what's the reason?
I did hear his answer, and his answer was nonsensical. It was basically like, we trust our kicker. Okay.
I'd say that too.
Yeah, sure. We trust our kicker. But if you trusted your kicker, then why didn't you send him out there to begin with?
It sounds like political work.
How far did they have to go?
Well, before the penalty, I guess it would have been a 52-yard field goal. I don't know what the down. I don't know what the down was on
the.
To
get an offside or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. And then obviously once you called that timeout, the NFL rule is you can't call a second timeout. So now you're completely out of luck.
But they called one for him.
Well, they did. The Colts called one first, so you had that whole timeout to figure it out.
Nice.
And then the Titans took their timeout and had all that timeout to figure it out. And then they still didn't know what they were doing. And so, I get it. I get why people in Pittsburgh don't like Mike Tomlin and all that, but holy cow. It could be worse. It could be better. Don't get me wrong. It could be better, but it could be worse.
Well, at least it's good to know that a coach that makes millions of dollars can make those mistakes, and a coach that's making $2,000 on a Friday night.
I bet you Blaine decides right away whether he's kicking it or going for it.
Oh yeah, usually in a situation where it looks like, if we're at the 5-yard line and we're going to second and whatever, and we're going in second and goal. A lot of times in the headset, we'll all be talking like, hey, are we going for 2 here if we score, or are we going to kick this? Even if it's on if we're going to punt, we'll talk like, hey, you have 2 downs here. You're going to give you 3rd and 4th. I can only imagine what the headset was like on a Sunday when the special teams guy and the offense coordinator are fighting back and forth.
Speaking of your game this week, you guys played down here. You played Port Allegheny, so you got to see Aiden Bliss up close and personal.
Right.
Is he better in person than he is on film?
He's just good. Film, real life, don't matter. He's big. I'll give you that. He's definitely a big boy. He moves well. I can tell you that there's a lot of sore Red Bank football players today because of him. I think he ran the ball like 30 times for like 200 yards.
20th consecutive 100-yard game.
Right.
Do you even play 20 games in your career?
Yeah.
What'd you think of him, Andy?
I guess he's a real gamer. I think the biggest thing about Aiden Bliss, we didn't talk a lot, but what was the score at half, Ronnie? 12 to
I think 12-6, something like that.
6. Going into half, I really thought Red Bank had a shot at possibly competing or winning that game if everything kept going our way. But the biggest thing is literally, I think Aiden Bliss come out and took that game on his shoulders and just pretty much ran and won the game. I'm not saying there wasn't 10 other players out there, but he's definitely a focal point and took it on his shoulders and did what they needed to do.
Yeah. Like I said last week, a athlete at his level, they do special things. And there were times where there was no real doubt who was going to get the ball. It was just
he made I don't remember if it was their first or second touchdown, but he caught one. What was it, about 25, 30-yard pass? But we had 2 guys in position, and Aiden Bliss just went up and made a spectacular catch. I don't even know how you defend it. He just come down with the ball, and that was as a receiver. Not, I think he come out of the backfield, but he can play. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, you see what he did against Clarion and then what Clarion did against Brockway. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing it against everybody, against good teams. I just hope he stays healthy and can do it the rest of the year.
Player of the week for the second time in 5 weeks this week. So
only the second time. You could probably give it to him every time.
Yeah, sometimes you're playing competition that's just not, the game's there's got to be. Player of the week isn't just about stats. Player of the week's about stats. It's about caliber of opponent. It's about, did you do something at a big time? Like Owen Roken last week was our player of the week. And why? Because he kicked a field goal from 35 yards to win a game with 2 minutes to go. So it's not the best stat performance of the week. It's the best performance of the week. It's the most clutch performance of the week. It's all of that rolled into one when you're making a decision like that.
A friend of mine called me after the game. Well, he was texting me, but he wanted to know my comparison from Bliss to Cathcart. And obviously I played against Cathcart, so it's a little bit different. But Lloyd Cathcart was good in his day. You try to tackle him, we're just hoping that a couple other guys got there. He tripped and fell down. But I think that's
both of them fantastic wrestlers, right, too.
And again, back to like last week, talking about how those high caliber wrestlers are good at running back. But I think him to Cathcart's a good comparison. I think I'm just throwing it out against the wall, I think Cathcart might have been a little straight line faster than Bliss, but they were both stuck.
Have you seen Cal Cathcart lately?
No, I have not.
Ronnie, you got fat. I got fat. Andy got fat. Cal Cathcart didn't get fat. Cal Cathcart looks like he could play today.
Maybe he's still got some eligibility left. Maybe he's waiting to get back to Clarion.
Well, it was funny because we broadcast the Central Clarion Brockway game, right? And before the game, I look over in the around the locker room area at Brockway where everybody's hanging out, and who do I see over there? There's Jace Ferguson, Brady Quinn, and Cohen Kemmer. And I walk over and I'm like, guys, you're going to try to sneak onto the field today. They're going to try to get you an extra year of eligibility here. Cohen Kemmer could have probably done it. Nobody would have noticed the difference between him and his brother wearing 81. But obviously Brady Quinn and then, what else you have to say about Jace Ferguson.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is there. But I thought that team is a team that seemed to figure it out on Friday night. They played with a lot of short fields, so they didn't have a lot of offense. Only had like 270 yards of offense. But when the defense only gives up 13 plays in the other team's territory, 4 in the first drive, 5 in the middle of the game or towards the end of the game when your punt returner accidentally touched the ball and was recovered in territory. So you didn't even stop them from driving into your territory because they were already in your territory. So they basically, after the first drive, had 4 legitimate plays that Brockway ran from inside Central Clarion territory. And I think 3 of those are from the 48 or 49 yard line. I mean, that's what you call defense.
Is there a lot of turnovers, or they just weren't moving the ball?
Just weren't moving the ball. That game had a bunch of punts. I want to say there were maybe 13 punts in that game. It was a stupid number of punts.
Clarion's defense is tough. I watched their game against Ford. I broke the film down. I mean, they got they're tough. They fly to the football.
You think Clarion has a pretty good team this year? They just had some tough competition these first.
I think they have a decent team. They're not as good as last year. They were never going to be as good as last year. It's impossible to be as good as last year. That's the best you're going to see. That team, to all due respect to Port Allegany last year, to all due respect to Red Bank Valley of 2021, that's the best football team you're going to see here in a long time. And I think that's why there was a disappointment when they didn't win the state title, whereas maybe the other 2 programs they were excited. I'm not saying that there wasn't disappointment in Red Bank when you didn't win, and there wasn't disappointment in Port when they didn't win. But I think that there wasn't an expectation level the whole season that you were going to win a state title. And I think last year there was an expectation level that whole season they were going to win a state title, and they came as close as they did to winning that state title, and then not winning it has to be a disappointment. That was never – I don't care what the talk is, and well, so-and-so's coming back and so-and-so's coming back, and they're really good athletes, and they are. Mason Burford's as good of an athlete as you're going to find. You didn't have Jace Ferguson anymore. You didn't have Jimmy Kerr anymore. You didn't have Matt Alston anymore. You weren't going to be quite as good. Are they still a team that could win the district? We're going to find that out starting this week again, because there's no rest for the weary. They've got to go down to Karn City and play a Karn City team that I got to imagine is really mad.
You lose a game like that, you're definitely not happy.
And now you got to go down to Karn City and play them. If they can go down on the road and beat Karn City down there this week after what happened to Karn City last week, then I think that, yeah, you can say this team is a really good football team. Is it going to get back to the state title game? I don't think so. I'm not trying to be mean or I just don't. I don't think that right now, as they stand, that they're a state title game type of team. Doesn't mean you can't win a district title, and there's nothing wrong with winning a district title. That should always be a goal, right?
100%.
So we were talking about the punts. There were 14 punts in that game, that Brockway Central Clarion game. 14 punts, 6 by the Wildcats, 8 by the Rovers. By the way, good punting in that game. 38.4 yards a punt by Brockway's Caleb Doherty. 35.3 yards per punt by Logan Bish of Central Clarion. That's good punting. But, man, the offenses combined to go 6 of 23 on third down and 0 of 2 on fourth down. So they were 6 of 25 on third and fourth down in that game. It wasn't an offensive masterpiece. Central Clarion scored on a safety. They scored on a punt return, and they scored on a strip sack that was by the goal line where Brant Parker just basically got the ball and could roll into the end zone. And
did Clarion rush well? Because I think
they did a decent job there. They were 34 for 204.
Oh, yeah.
Brockway, on the other hand, 18 for negative 26. Now, a lot of that was because of the sacks. They sacked Aiden Patton 5 times. He ended up with a line that, what do you do with a line of 8 carries for minus 41 yards?
Yeah. And they throw the ball around. You're gonna get sacked when you throw the football around.
Yeah, they threw it 28 times. So you figure between that and the sacks, they at least tried to throw it 33. A couple of those other runs by Patton were on rushes. So they probably tried to throw the ball 35 times out of the 49 plays that they had. They just couldn't get anything going running. What they were able to do when we saw them 2 weeks ago against Red Bank was they were able to get their running game going. They had it going against Brookville the week after, but this week they couldn't get it going. Weir ran 10 for 15, and they only had 2 guys carry the football. Weir and Patton, and they, Central Clarion came out and played a 3-man front, and really Central Clarion, most of its offense was really on the first possession of the second half. Charlie Heffel told Coach Eggleton, hey, I think, Coach, we need to make this adjustment. We need to run this, and we need to run gap. And they were pulling their guard with it, and it was really working. And, it's cool when you have a coach who's willing to listen to a player when they come in with, hey, this is what we're seeing out there. I think that's a really key part of high school football. I think it's a real key part of every level of football, but specifically in high school where you don't have as many coaches, you've got to be willing to listen to what your players are seeing out there.
Yeah, we're lucky. We have a center, Devin Weckerly, started 4 years, and he's a very cerebral player. He literally tells everybody what to do. You go here, you go there. There was on Friday night, he came to me and said, hey, Coach, we're done running this. We have to run this because, and then he explains it to you. And with a kid like that, you just give him the leeway. Okay, let's do it and see how it works. And, the other part of it is like someday those are kids that may want to coach and be part of your staff. And if they're smart enough to see it in the game and in real life.
Well, you have one of those down here right now, and Scott Toth. Is he still part of the coaching staff?
He is, yes.
And Scott was a player that is exactly what you're talking about. You are too, Ronnie. You're part of the coaching staff too, and
right.
Yeah,
He was talking about a cerebral.
He's not talking about the guy that just says, hey, lower your head and just bang into the next guy.
Well, my wife. I joke with my wife about my CTE, and we unfortunately had a kid get hit pretty hard this week, and anytime I make a mistake or forget to do one of the honeydew lists, I always blame it on the CTE. But yeah, I never claimed to be cerebral. They just gave me the ball and I ran straight ahead.
Wiles was like, Ronnie, run. And Ronnie goes, okay. And instead of it being run, Forrest, run, it was run, Ronnie, run.
Right.
Run, Ronnie, run has a nice kick to it, right?
Yeah,
I can see it right now. The hint. First down and 10 at the Red Bank 20-yard line. Jake Smith is at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Chris Merwin. Chris Merwin's in at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Turns, hands off to Geist. Geist has a hole. Oh, run, Ronnie, run. He's at the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the goal line. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
No, that's wrong. I would always get tackled before the goal line, and then Chris would audible to a quarterback sneak and take my touchdown.
Oh, okay. So it'd have been more like, run, Ronnie, run. He's at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. He's at the 5. Oh, he gets tripped up a half a yard shy of the goal line. If Ronnie had just run a little bit more, folks, he would have had that touchdown.
Pretty much. Maybe that's my name, Ronnie the Runner.
Yeah.
Nah, what was the other one we came up with?
The Holy Ghost.
But Rocco.
Rocco. Run, Rocco, run. That's our
Run, Rocco, run. Hit, Rocco, hit. Tackle, Rocco, tackle.
Whatever.
Hey, Rocco, if you can lean, you can clean.
That's right. Those were his famous words.
Man, these shows go way off the rails sometimes. This is, I think, what makes these great. We've talked for a half hour, guys, and I don't know if we said anything intelligent the whole time.
Not very cerebral, are we?
So you've had the entire show, Ronnie, to give us your nickname. You promised us you'd come up with your nickname if we gave you time. Didn't he, Andy? He said that he would.
He said, give me till the end of the show.
Yeah, give me till the end of the show. Well, we're at the end of the show, Ronnie. So what is it?
I'm going to stick with Rocco.
Yeah, but Ronnie, Rocco, Geist.
Yeah, in hopes that Joe
gives you a free pizza.
Happen. Yeah.
You want a free pizza. That's the whole reason you're doing that, is for that free pizza.
Yeah, he'll never make my top 5 if we don't get a free pizza.
What's your favorite topping?
Bacon.
Yours?
Usually pepperoni, but bacon does add a little bit of a level to a pizza. I used to work with a guy. I never got bacon on my pizza, and he's like, "You need to try some bacon on your pizza." And ever since then, I'm a meat lover guy with pizza. But if I had to pick three, it's probably pepperoni, sausage, and bacon would be my pick.
Have you ever done it with meatball? Oh, meatball's so good on a pizza.
I've never had meatball on pizza.
Oh, meatball's good on a pizza.
I like banana peppers too.
I like onions too.
I don't like any kind of vegetables.
They just get in the way.
Yeah,
Hey, it's getting away.
Other foods.
tomato sauce is close enough. Is that like a Fruito? I don't even know.
Well, bacon, pepperoni, sausage, meatballs, and we'll go half of it with banana peppers and onions on it, Ronnie,
I can do that.
so that he
We need
gets.
We need to get one of them for next week.
Andy keeps it off on his side.
A little bit of a insider. If you go to Joe's, get pizza by the slice, and he throws it back in the oven, and it gets a nice little crispy layer on the bottom.
That's where it's at. That's where it's at. That little crispy layer on the bottom is exactly where it's at. Ryan Pugh and I talked about doing a food show. Ryan Pugh, we always joke, like the fat guys know what the good food is. You don't want like a Coach Al telling you what good food is.
He'd probably get hurt doing it anyway.
Yeah, I like. Oh, that's mean, Ronnie. Oh, Ronnie, that's mean. Al, that was Ronnie. I had nothing to do with that one, Al. That was all Ronnie. I didn't set him up for that. Anything. You got a problem. You got a problem with Ronnie, not with me. But because Al always is like, I'm just a bland eater. I'm like, yeah, I know. You can tell. Right? Like you can tell when you like to eat, and you can tell when you're just like you eat to survive versus eat to enjoy. I eat to enjoy.
You don't live to eat. You eat to live.
Yes. Well, no, I live to eat.
Yeah, you're opposite.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of that. So, closing in on the end of the month down here, does that change how you guys deal down here, or is it just like at the beginning of the month is when all the new deals come out?
Well, the new rebates and stuff get loaded at the beginning of the month, but really, we're not like a lot of places. You're going to get our best deal, whether it's the 2nd of the month or the 31st of the month. A lot of places, try to get you to come in on that last day, but
why do they care about when they sell their car?
Well, manufacturer-wise, there are some incentives and bonuses for selling certain number of Ram trucks or, Durangos, different incentives. So, there are times where maybe if you can push one or two more trucks, you get a little bit of kickback from the factory. There's something's programmed. So there are times for that, but usually you're talking marginal. I think it's more of the hype. People think they get the best deal if they come in towards the end of the month, and that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, just come to Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Tell them that Ronnie said you'd get the best deal, and tell Andy that it's Ronnie's deal.
Right.
And that Ronnie's going to make up whatever the difference is. Okay, that part's not true, but probably got to put that in there and before somebody comes in and goes, "But you said." No,
we do that when Ronnie trades the vehicle. If he can't sell it for what it's traded for, we make him pay the difference.
You're just trying to make a break even on a trade, or are you trying to make a little bit of money on a trade?
Well, we're always trying to make.
Well,
money,
sure, you want to make you can't be in business and not make money.
It really depends the trade. If somebody drives in with something that's worth $1,500 and we give them $1,500, we're usually just trying to clear it and get it down the road. You're not trying to, obviously, on that set of.
So if I drive in with a 1985 Buick Skylark with like 800,000 miles on it, could I get $1 for it?
Does it have a Chris Rossetti bumper sticker on it?
No.
Or a YDL.
No.
Oh, we'd give you $1 for it.
All right.
Everything's worth $250.
The very first car I traded in, I got like $200 for it. Tells you what kind of shape that car was in, doesn't it?
How much was the first car you bought?
Well, I bought it off my dad, so I don't remember how much he charged. He might not have charged me very much for it, just enough to make it a legal buy, So you remember the old Saturns?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Saturn. I owned a Saturn. That was my very first car, was a Saturn.
They don't make them anymore.
No. I had a Saturn, and then I followed it up. I've been all over the place. I had a Saturn, and then I followed it up with a Toyota Camry, and then a Hyundai Elantra, and now I have a Subaru Legacy, which is another car that's not going to be made anymore.
Are those all the cars you've owned in your lifetime?
I've only owned 4.
Holy cow!
And
I owned that in a 3-year period.
3 of them would have been over. Well, all 4 of them would have been over 100,000 if I hadn't totaled the Toyota Camry.
You're definitely not a car guy.
No, I'm not a car guy. I don't even come close to a car. A car to me is a means to get from point A to point B. Like that's just who I am. Like that Challenger sitting in front of us right now would be completely lost on me. I'm not the guy that like looks at that car and goes, "Oh my goodness, can we pop the hood? Can I take a look at what's underneath?" That's just not who I am. Like that's not what my shtick is.
You might be the guy that all the girls look at in that car, Chris.
You have looked at me, right?
But a good suit from Daddy's, that's what you're into.
Yeah. I mean, a few weeks ago, I stopped up at Hollenbaugh's and bought some sausage and ground meat and made some homemade meatballs. And yeah, we want to talk about good food. I could sit here and talk about good food all day long.
You ever tried their hammer chicken salad?
Hammer chicken, the chicken salad I've had.
Yeah.
Love their
Michelle gets that.
I like their really chicken salad. Yeah. Yeah. When I'm in my let's lose some weight phase, I'll get the chicken salad and I'll try to go a little healthier. But no, you guys are the guys that can talk about the cars. I know that the car has an engine. At least I hope it has an engine. I mean, do Teslas have engines? I assume it's an engine. It's just a different kind of engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that's how little I know. I do own some Tesla stock and some Subaru stock. That's about as far as
Stellantis stock, though, you're telling us.
What is a Stellantis?
Stellantis, that's our mother company.
I would have had no idea. See, I don't know. I literally don't know anything about cars.
I don't think there's any good car stock there, really. Tesla had a run for a while.
Oh, it's back up over $400 a share.
Well, what was it? 1.800 and something a share.
Yeah, and then it went down.
GameStop when all that stuff was going crazy.
Yeah, and then it went down to like 200 something, and actually it was like into 100 something. And people when one side got mad over politics. I always figure it's like really dumb to get mad at a company over politics because you either like the company or you don't like the product the company sells. I don't care what your politics are. I don't got that. I don't have time for that.
Do you remember when me and Ronnie were talking about this the other day, and we're probably going long here, but do you remember when you were like in college and you went out with your friends? You had now you were a political science major, weren't you? So you might have known a little bit more than the average, but I remember going out and like, you didn't know whether somebody was a Democrat, Republican.
Nor did you care.
No, it never even come to your
Nor
head.
Did you care. You didn't care what they were.
You just had fun.
Yeah, you're just having fun. I don't care. I have no idea what you guys are. I don't care what you guys are. Literally doesn't bother me one way or the other what you guys are. It's your own personal choice. I could care less what you are. I got friends that are Democrats. I got friends that are Republicans. I got friends that
we're just happy to have friends.
Yeah, I'm just glad to have friends. I don't care what their political leanings are. Literally doesn't bother me. I don't care. I have friends that I get into heated debates with over it. But you know what? It's healthy heated debate. We can talk about it and we can disagree with certain things. We can agree on certain things. And that's all that matters. Like, I don't care. You're still a human being. To me, people are people. And that's the important part, is that are you a good person? And like, I think both of you guys are good people. Like, I'm sure that's what you were waiting to hear all day long was that, right? But
that was on my bingo card.
Yeah.
I was hoping that was on your bingo card. But you know, that's what I care about. I care about whether you're a good person or not. Do you treat people the right way? If you treat people the right way, then that's all I care about. That's literally all I care about. The rest of it is immaterial at the end of the day. We can debate some stuff. We can disagree with some policy, whatever. It's, do you treat people good?
Right.
And I think that's kind of lacking that now, aren't we, in some ways?
I don't think so.
I think that most, like, okay, we're lacking that on social media. Is that a better way of putting it?
What you see is perception, but maybe not reality.
What do the kids call it now? IRL, in real life. I learned that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I learned that this week.
In real life.
Yeah, IRL, in real life. And I'm laughing because like it's all real life, right? But like they literally have this like idea that some of what they see isn't real life and others of what they see is real life. And I don't know, man. I'm too old for that. Everything that I see is real life.
Yeah, I agree.
And acronyms. I don't have time for acronyms. I'm still learning what LOL is, or LOL. Like now I got IRL and LTG, and I'm just making stuff up now.
Have you been using 6-7 on your broadcast?
No.
Did we
Have
figure out
you
what that
figured out
is?
what that means yet?
No.
Doesn't mean anything.
It's just
My 11-year-old told me it is banned from 2 of his classes, that you're not allowed to say 6-7 in 2 of these
Teachers
classes.
were like, "This is out of control."
Yes.
which if you hear it as much as I do at home, you'd ban it too.
They thought it was really funny though, because as the
Have you
teacher-
banned it at home yet, Ronnie?
No, but my kids will go on spurts where they hear it, they'll say it a bunch of times.
Is it more annoying than the woo?
Oh, you mean at the Pirate games? I'm the woo starter.
Oh.
You don't like a good woo?
No, I don't like a good woo. I saw them win last night, by the way. Yesterday, I went and saw them win 11-0. Most runs they've scored for me at a game in 4 years.
Hasn't been a good reason to woo.
Yeah, there were people wooing after the game, but when you only have like 6 people there, like how much can the woo be?
But I'll be honest, my kids love it.
The woo or the
Yeah,
6-7?
woo.
Go 6-7 it. I probably didn't use that right, did I?
I don't know.
How do you use it?
You just wait till someone slips up and says the word 6 and 7 close by, and you just go 6, 7.
6-7. See, I'm hip. I'm cool. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you I'm rich too.
Right.
Well, guys, I think that's going to bring a close to this edition of Nolf Bites, where we just have fun now.
We'll get her back on track next week.
I don't know. I think people like us having fun. Maybe not. Maybe they want to hear us talk about football. Kind of like just talking about stuff.
We talked about a lot of stuff today.
We did talk about a lot of stuff today.
Leave comments. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
All right, folks. Until next week, from Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City, PA, which, in case you don't know, is just outside of New Bethlehem on Route 28 as you head towards Brookville, or just before New Bethlehem if you're coming out of Brookville. This is Chris Rossetti, Andy Byers, and Ronnie Rocco Geist.
Why should you choose Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City? Why wouldn't you choose them? At Nolf, their sales are speedy and include upfront and straightforward pricing. If it's service and parts you're after, they have skilled technicians who are factory trained while offering knowledgeable parts experts. Maybe you need Nolf's full-service body shop offering top-quality collision repair to all makes and models of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Or do you want to cruise the highway in a clean, shiny vehicle thanks to Nolf's detailing service? No matter your needs, Nolf, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fairmont City is there for you. Find out more at nolfchrislerdodge.com.